Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Culz Reviews. Today we're going to be starting another kind of series look at something us as a group haven't done since Project Blue Book, but we're going to do this leading up to doing Season 2 of Project Blue Book. So if you're not, we'll be back doing that here soon, but we thought we would touch on something that's kind of fun, and that's historical mysteries. And so today we started off with Brad Meltzer's Decoded, Season 1, Episode 1, which was the cornerstone of the White House, and then the Capitol as well was kind of tied in. It's a series I've watched both. I think there's 2 seasons. I've watched both, as well as I have the books. So I'm definitely well aware of this. I did do some touch-up watching this, but Andrew, first time watching this series?
It is. It was quite interesting. I enjoyed the adventure.
What about you, Sam? Is it your first time watching this one?
Yes, it was.
And Matt, what about you?
Yeah, first timer here. First timer.
All right. Well, as people that watch it for the first time, Andrew, what did you think of the overall episode?
Like I said, I enjoyed the adventure. They went through quite a few different aspects to get to the end result. I definitely felt like I saw the end result coming. But they did do their homework, did a lot of investigative work, a lot of hard work put into it to get to that end result.
Sam, what were your thoughts with this one?
I mean, it's interesting. Interesting, puzzling. You know, with most of those shows, they never really find anything. Especially when they just had to use a man in a suit like the Zanzibar leopard. So, you know, it's kind of expected with those type of shows.
You know what? I don't have a phone to throw right now, but I would.
Hey, that's a series we got to get back to, is Extinct or Alive. And they actually, in that one, do find some stuff. We've been able to watch a couple of those for the channel.
You mean
so that's
Extinct
one we'll get
or People in Suits?
The only one that's not in a suit. Everything else, you can see the zipper on. This one, there is no zipper. No zipper anywhere to be found.
Matt, any thoughts on the zipper controversy, and what were your thoughts on the episode?
Oh, dude, I saw plenty of zippers in this episode, man.
You motherfucker.
I think it's, they get you kind of drug into it. I mean, it's like they talk about the same stuff, and I think it's the build up, making you want to watch part 2 now. I don't know. It was some interesting stuff. I mean, I learned quite a bit. I don't know if we're at that point yet, but when we get further into it, it was pretty informal. I mean, I learned some new stuff today.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about some of these series is at least they try to tie in some history. So what draws the common person in is maybe that mystery or the adventure, and then they get to learn something from it. This one, you're learning about, obviously, American history, maybe a little political history, perhaps a little war history, and of course, we're not saying it's Masons, but we're saying Masons.
Masons.
Yeah, Masons definitely took up a large chunk of this, and at least for me and Andrew, we saw something that we have seen in Colby, right? What appeared in this episode?
Well, if you sit back a little bit, you can see some. There it is. Yeah, in Colby, they actually had a very large mural of this on the side of the building. Keegan, what building was that?
It was the Masonic Lodge, actually. Yeah, and if you guys want, a link should be appearing above. You can click it. You can see us being surprised by another Masonic Lodge, which is what we're tend to do. You guys like Masonic stuff. It's like our third best interview. The videos of Sam being surprised in Alamosa and Kyla are like 2,000 views. So if you guys like it, we will continue doing some Freemason stuff. it's definitely intriguing. Sam, right? We've also, Sam can attest, been able to witness a Freemason ceremony here at the library in Castle Rock.
True, I did. It was kind of cool. They got the community involved a bit and talked about kind of the process of like creating the stone, but already had it made, or at least part of it. There might be some stuff in there that they didn't mention, but they did talked about all of it and went through the whole process.
You got to be 33rd degree to know that.
Yeah, and then you can't tell nobody.
Facts.
We actually got to take part in a Cornerstone ceremony when they placed it here at the new Douglas County Library. We got to be part of putting the cement on it right before they poured some hot oil over it, and kind of went through their process of putting it on. Very different than what we're thinking of with the George Washington era Cornerstone, because it was much, much larger than the one we saw. Matt, do you remember the size of this one? Purported size, I should say.
Supposed size.
No, they threw it around a couple times. There was like 3 foot by 4 foot by 2.5 feet or something like that.
Yeah, I think it turned
2
out
foot
to be
by
like,
6 foot, and it was like
I
3,600 pounds.
Yeah.
25 cubic feet
Crazy.
or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so definitely a stone, if somebody, like they say, drug it away, probably would be able to notice, especially back in the day. Not getting away with horses and stuff, just dragging a large stone unnoticed. Andrew, what is something maybe you learned from this episode?
The temple and all of the artifacts that they had, I would actually like to go see that. The museum that they have, and like I said, all the artifacts, that would be interesting to go and see and learn a little more about. Take a little closer look at some of the stuff that they have in there, because they have over hundreds of years of artifacts and history. It'd be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And they said the library is open to any researcher. And we do research now. Like, we actually have something backing us up, so we can be consider that. So who knows? Maybe we can take a journey. And we do have one here, at least in Denver, not quite as big or historic as the one they showed in this episode, which was the Scottish Rite. But yeah, it's something that maybe we can see what we can do at least with ours first, and go from there. Sam, what did you take away or learn from this episode?
That not only one cornerstone was lost, but 2 of them have been lost, which is interesting, or misplaced,
or just under dirt. At some point, they learned to.
You never know.
Your phone, if I see you without a phone, I'm gonna know why. Matt, what about you? What is something you took away from this episode?
I mean, I didn't really realize, when the U.S. Capitol was first built, that there was, no air conditioning, but that makes sense how long ago it was built. But like the amount of underground tunnels and different passageways that they had, where they could pull the air up from underneath, the ground, whatever. But there's lots of cool pathways and trailways all below the Capitol. You kind of expect that, I think, for Washington, D.C., lots of hidden passageways and stuff. It makes you really think, these movies like National Treasure, how many tunnels there really are that could lead anywhere. And maybe there's a world of buried treasure underground. The Freemasons have been around for a very, very, very long time. And, they talked in here about how a lot of them are sworn to, their throats being slit, secrecy type thing. And they take a lot of blame for the bad that's happened in our country. But I don't believe it for a minute. But I do think the one comment the one lady made was kind of minute or dumb, because I don't know if you guys heard it when they walked into the museum. She's like, wow, I wonder how they got this stuff. They were Masons, they got it. It's like, duh.
The same
It
way
seemed
any other
like it was a
museum gets
crime
their
they had them.
stuff.
And I'm like, how did these people get
You know,
this stuff?
they still left it with some mystery and some wonders on why.
Yeah, but then they also make it sound like it's just like right under your nose. Like, could it be in the wrong corner the whole time and it's really at the building site? Stay tuned.
What's
for
the best
next
way to hide
episode.
something? What is
In
the best
plain
way to hide
sight.
something?
In
That's
plain
right.
sight.
Plain sight.
We've learned that many times. I forget what movie really taught me that, but I was like, oh yeah. So just now I always look right in front of my face.
Yeah. So this episode, we're kind of introduced to the group that you'll follow through the series, which is Buddy, Buddy, Christine, and Scott, as well as the host is Brad Meltzer, who's I think he's won some awards for writing as far as like New York Times bestselling and stuff like that. He does fiction as well as nonfiction books, usually tying around something historical, a la maybe like kind of like the Da Vinci Code, where it's like sort of based on fact, but not really. I'll just tie in some fun history. They're looking for this missing, I guess you can say it's missing cornerstone of the White House, which they talk about getting burned down by the British during the War of 1812. And they go to some Freemasons, they go to the lodge, they talk to different people. You get the conspiratorial people, you get kind of the non-conspiratorial people, and then they kind of leave it to you to decide. And then they do kind of bring up, like Sam said, the White House one is also missing, more or less probably just because it's buried underground. No one's found it yet. The current theory, or one of the most current theories I've heard for the White House one, is that it's under the Rose Garden. So I'm sure they're probably not going to be digging that up anytime soon. But unfortunately, we also saw politics gets in the way of research here, where just because you were doing it on one side, the other side of the government branch was like, hey, got to do it on our side as well. So they
Go to
actually
the
had
other
to
side of the
stop.
house.
Mm-hmm. And the one guy seemed awfully disappointed. He was like, yeah, we were probably like 8-10 feet away from finding it, but politics.
How frustrating is
Well, I
that?
mean, if you're 10 feet away, why not just keep going then, or restart?
Right. Yeah, and you wonder, what year did they say that dig was?
57 or something.
No, it had to be closer than
No,
that.
it was closer than that.
I
Maybe
think you were
It was
thinking
80
of the,
something, right?
87. I
yeah.
think.
I think you were thinking of the first one they showed with like the gutted basement.
Oh yeah. That was the first. That was what I was thinking of.
Yeah. No, the second one, and it probably also depends on who's in office. If you got someone in office that's maybe a Freemason, yeah, perhaps they're interested. It also probably depends like how much is going on in the world. As far as like, yeah, if there's a bunch of wars and stuff, I'm sure finding a piece of stone is not their top priority. So just kind of luck of the draw, I suppose. Matt, where do you think the stone is?
It was buried under the Burger King down the street.
Hey, have you seen Poltergeist?
I have, yes. You think it's in the dimension?
How about you, Sam? Sam, have you seen Poltergeist?
No, what's that?
It's this really good UFO movie. You should check it out. You'll be blown away by the amount of UFOs in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some Freemasonry in it as well.
Sure.
Andrew, where do you think it's hidden?
Exactly what they said. It's probably, evidence say that it is a functional and working piece of architecture. So it would take a lot to actually dig around and do whatever it takes to find it. It would make a mess.
Probably
Well,
cause
then back
some
then
structural
too, what
instability.
type of equipment do they have to move stones that weight so far? You can only move it so far without somebody.
You would be surprised what a Clydesdale could do.
Yeah.
But I think there would probably be a record somewhere of someone seeing a Clydesdale moving a large stone down the road.
Not if you kill them.
Or just like burn the newspaper down. Never.
They're
let the
witches.
press out of-
They're witches.
Hide the evidence.
Hey, that was much earlier in American history.
Was it Keegan?
Mm-hmm.
We have to take Keegan out. He knows.
Sam, where do you think it's hidden?
On the moon.
Sam just wants to go to the moon. So Elon Musk, if you ever watch this and want to help Sam get to the moon, stream it. Let us know. No, I definitely think both of them are in the ground. You can see kind of the evolution of cornerstones through history, going from probably buried, especially this one being buried, makes sense. But a lot of them were just kind of the cornerstone, second or third stone up from the base of the building. Once you get up a little bit later, they do make them a little bit more prominent on the building itself. Still in the corners, sometimes more on the front. And then today's are closer to the entrance of a building. The one at the DMV building here, which was where the old courthouse was, is just on the north. I guess it would be the
Northwest.
It might be the northwest. We'll have to check that out. We'll fact check it. But yeah. Let's see,
because it's on the back side of the building, no?
Yeah, it's on the north side facing where like next door used to be.
Exactly. Northwest.
Oh, see, we found it. It's true. Andrew, as we continue through this series, is there anything you hope that they are able to do more that they didn't in this episode, or kind of like how it was?
Matthew said there was going to be a part 2 of this series. Is it going to be of this episode, Matthew? What did you mean by there was a part 2 of this?
Well, I think so. This is White House Part 1 that we watched tonight.
I don't know.
It was
Keegan
entitled
have that
Part
answer.
1.
Keegan, is there a part 2?
Well, episode 2 is Secret Presidential Codes.
Oh, okay. So it's obviously probably going to tie into it a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Here, I can read you guys the season 1 episode. So we got Presidential Codes. Episode 3 is Statue of Liberty. Episode 4 is the Lincoln Assassination. Episode 5 is Confederate Gold. Episode 6 is D.B. Cooper. Episode 7 is Secret Society, so I don't know, Freemasons might be coming back out. And then 2012 is episode 8, so you can tell when this one was made, 2011. Episode 9 is President's Inner Circle. Episode 10 is The Apocalypse in Georgia. It's about those guide stones that were unfortunately recently blown up. So something we've been wanting to get to that we're unable to. But that's season 1. And then season 2 kicks off with Fort Knox, which is about the gold that may or may not still be there. So,
very
going
interesting.
Forward, what would you like to see more of, or less of, or vice versa?
You know what? It would be nice to be able to dig a little further, but obviously you can't.
Yeah, definitely depending on which topics and who you're covering. Got to be a little careful of what you say, I suppose. It's the fun part. You want to try to tell the truth, but you got to maybe not. So maybe they tried. Maybe we've got to rewatch it secretly. Play it backwards.
Keegan doesn't want that white van pulling up next to him when he's walking.
It's a black van. Don't forget, it's a black van.
Yeah, they'll just be like, so where do you think the
that's right.
Cornerstone
The
is?
white van is the one that gives you either free puppies or free candy.
Free candy most of the time.
Before. Yep.
Both of
That
them
you
not
have.
good. Sam, what about you? What would you like to see more or less of going forward in this one?
Maybe for them to tell them what they're hiding. Or if the stones that were blown up was not planned. because that's what I think it was, because it did talk about the New World Order and all of that, so maybe they're just trying to cover all of that up so that people aren't thinking that it's a thing before they strike.
Matt, I was looking at Sam. Matt, what about you?
I think just repeat the same thing.
Come again, Sam? What? I love finding out more of the mysteries of what really could be hidden there. And again, with Washington, you never know. I mean, there's so much. I don't want to say crooked stuff going on, but like crooked stuff going on. A lot of secrets. Let's just put it that way. There's a lot of secrets in Washington, and there have been for many years. Like the fact that there could be a second constitution out there. Very interesting, So maybe
That's
more into
an
that.
interesting concept.
Right. Like
The second one or a true one? The true constitution.
The true constitution. Imagine having to rewrite the rules and everything in today's generation too.
Well, I can tell you, episode 2 of season 2 talks about the Declaration of Independence. Just something to ponder. We might get a little bit of. So yeah, Andrew said maybe there's a part 2. Maybe it does. Maybe it does touch upon some of these little Easter eggs or nuggets that kind of sprinkled through. So yeah, maybe this was a perfect episode for them to start with. You can see why. Andrew, any kind of final thoughts with this episode?
I would check it out. It's a pretty fun topic. Masons are always a fun topic. There's a little essence of mystery there, and we all like a little bit of mystery. It keeps us digging, keeps us searching, keeps us adventuring. And to me, that's what life is about, is adventure.
Hey, you gotta live life to the fullest is how we kind of
absolutely
look at it. Sam, what about you? Any final thoughts with this one?
Final thoughts is, yeah, it was kind of interesting and brings up a lot more questions, like a lot of questions and a lot of theories that are quite fascinating, and makes our Operation National Treasure that more fun.
Yeah, and speaking of National Treasure, we still got to get back to National Treasure 2 to do a deep dive. Maybe we'll bring back on Robert Sullivan, our friend who is a 33rd degree Freemason, and have him discuss that one, because we had a lot of fun discussing the first one with him. So if you guys haven't seen it, there's a link above. Go check it out. Matt, any final thoughts with episode 1 of Decoded?
No, like I said, I kind of liked it. I learned some new interesting facts, and it's awesome. Recommend it, I guess. Yeah, see it.
And Andrew, rating, recommendation, what do you say?
I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, mystery is always fun, and it gives a little bit of mystery along with the final conclusion.
What would you rate it out of 10?
7 out of 10.
Pretty solid. Sam, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely did enjoy it, because there are people that dive into like those crazy niche things that like we do with some of our episodes, and like I do for other things as well. Like there's a lot of curiosity behind it, and the fact that like people are like, yeah, this is missing, and we're all fine with it, and it's just like, really, we're fine with that. It's like, you don't seem that as like odd that they like looked for it, found something, and then was just like, yeah, we're done. It's just like,
wait, it's not a worry that there's like missing nuclear warheads out in America somewhere,
right?
Nah, it's fine. You're just saying, it's that meme where the guy's sitting with the fire everyone. It's fine.
Right.
Well, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's just fine. It's fine.
It's all good, all kosher.
True.
Matt,
I would give it I don't know, probably an 8 out of 10.
solid as well. Matt, what about you?
No, I'm gonna go 8 out of 10, and I would recommend it. I mean, like I said, the history of Washington, D.C. and the Freemasons and just everything that went on is, something that we may never really have the true history of ever.
Right. Yeah. At some point, history is kind of lost, and I think that's what we try to do is dig as much as possible and save what we can now. Because yeah, at some point, paper doesn't last forever. So you got to try to get it out in different forms, different formats, and get it to as many people as you can. Make copies, whatever. But yeah, eventually, and unfortunately, some records are going to be lost, be it fires or water damage, stuff like that. It does happen, and so just large chunks of society is gone. Oh, getting so big.
Matt, who's our little friend here?
This is Jasper John, a.k.a. JJ.
JJ.
He ran off. Mom's making noise upstairs, so he's going to go investigate. He'll be back shortly.
But yeah, I would say probably another 7 out of 10 for me. I know Sam was expecting a 6. Look at him, he's surprised.
Yeah, usually that's your 10s.
I bet you we got through. I barely given out any 6s. I know
There's a reason why it's a 7.
But yeah, no, I thought it's a fun episode. And it's something that, maybe we can talk a little bit about a White House Cornerstone, because maybe we just know where one is. But it's not the one you guys are thinking of. It's going to be the Summer White House here in Morrison, Colorado. We've done a video on it in the past, but we want to do a proper, Abandoned Colorado episode this year. So it's definitely something that I think we'll get to. Sam, in 2025, I know we're a couple months in as well already. What are some alien series you want to cover this year?
I mean, continue with the documents, and then we'll probably do some more within Colorado, and then potentially some for New Mexico as well, because we were asked by a viewer about other New Mexican crash sites other than just Roswell. So I'm going to start diving into that and figuring out if there's other ones that may not be as well known.
And luckily, we got a couple trips for New Mexico planned, so we definitely will be in that. Man, I had something I was gonna say, and it went that part of the woods or something. I don't know. Andrew, in 2025, what are something you hope to cover this year?
I mean, if we could make the trip, I'd love to go to Scotland. Check out the Basculin House. Maybe the Loch Ness Monster. Show everybody that little zipper there.
Or the real dinosaur.
I don't. You know what? He might ask us for about $350.
What about a trip out, to California, to a local pretty famous site of maybe a man in a suit?
That would be very fun too. I'd like to show everybody that zipper as well, because I'm sure he's going to make an appearance if we go out there.
And hey, you know what else is out there? Bigfoot hamburgers that are a foot long. So that's something we could tie in. And Matt, what do you hope to do in 2025?
A foot long hamburger? Matthew, a foot long hamburger? Is that true?
In the shape of a foot.
Yep. No, 100% true.
We saw it in Willow Creek, remember?
That's a big hamburger.
Do you imagine eating a hamburger that big? Good gracious. That would feed us for a week.
No, I'd put it down.
Oh, yeah. Good. I'm sure people on YouTube would pay to see that.
You know what? 110 pounds, I put it down.
I wouldn't be able to do that anymore. Maybe back in my heyday. Well, I think we're still looking forward to continuing to find the best burger here in Colorado, and We may kind of tie in hot wings here at some point, once football season gears back up again. Going back up to Laramie, hopefully we get a chance to add that back to our list again, as it's always fun to go check out the Pokes up there in Laramie. And, and I was really hoping Josh Allen would have brought home a championship this year to Wyoming, and it would have been a good time, I think. Good party up there.
Yeah, definitely have to get up to the University of Wyoming again. I know you guys enjoy it. It's our 5th most watched topic, so definitely we have to get back up there. Even if it's not homecoming, I think in 2025 we'll at least make one appearance at a game up there. And this year, I think we just have a lot of fun stuff planned. Obviously, we'll be in Roswell for the festival, as always. You can catch us there. We are working on finishing up our book. Maybe at the time of this, we already have, and it'll be published here soon. And we got some other big projects. I've been working on a lot of dinosaur stuff as well. You guys like that? And yeah, we'll just see where we go, because we're enjoying doing it. That's what it's about. Is just we enjoy it and you guys enjoy it. So we hope you guys keep supporting us as we keep going forward. And if you guys want more Culz reviews, click that link to your left. To the right is more from us here at Culz Paranormal. And don't forget to hit like, give us a subscribe, and let us know, out of any topic that we discussed wanting to cover in 2025, do you have an idea for us to talk about? Tell us in the comments below.